Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Models, and this is where we left it off. Alright, so now let's come in and just put this onto material so we can see what we're doing. So we have something like this. And what I want to do first of all is I want to bring in the material which is light wood. So I already have main wood in, let's bring in white light wood, drop that on there. Let's also bring in glass lit, drop that on there. Let's also bring in glass unlit, drop that on there. And the reason I'm doing all of that is because I want them available over here in the shader. Now the first one I want to bring in is going to be called main wood. So this is my main wood. The second one, so we're going to click the plus, down arrow is going to be the light wood. And the third down arrow is going to be glass lit. There we go. Now the glass unlit is already in there then for the other windows. Let's say we don't want light in a window or something like that. So now of course, we have an issue in that this is all unwrapped, not unwrapped at all. So I'm going to just grab it, A, U, Smart UV Project, click OK, and let's have a look what that unwraps like. Absolutely terrible. Sometimes this happens. The UV unwrapping doesn't always unwrap great, and sometimes we actually have to go in and unwrap them themselves. Mainly, the issues will be normally in the fact that these will be tiny. So if I go into here, UV editing, not UV editing, sorry, shading. Let's press dot and zoom in. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Actually, it doesn't look that bad. Now let's come in and grab these and we can see that they're very tiny over here. Let's make them a little bit bigger. And now we can see they're already starting to look really nice. Let's come in then and unwrap this one. So this one again, let's make it a little bit bigger with S. And I'm just looking to make sure, because that doesn't look right to me. Definitely doesn't look right. It shouldn't be wonky like that. And it's because I think, let's press Ctrl A, all transforms, reset the origins again, and let's just grab this one. Let's press U, Smart UV Project, click OK, and there we go. Now it's looking much better. Now I just need to make it a little bit smaller, like so. Now you can see that we've got this really big knot on there. We really don't want that on there because even though if we put another window the other side, it's gonna be obvious it's the same texture map because it's just, you know, stands out so much. So what I'm gonna do is instead of that, I'm just gonna move it around to be a little bit different. All right, so now we've got that. Now we can see on this part here, it goes up, which is great, but this part around here is going the wrong way. So we need to fix that as well. So I'm gonna come in with edge select, grab my island, so L, L, and L, hide those out the way. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark a seam. Now at the moment we can still kind of see this here for whatever reason. And that's just because we need to be on material mode and then you won't see it. So all I'm going to do is Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click, right click, mark a seam. Now let's come in with face select this time. L, L, and then U. And we're going to Smart UV Project, click OK. Can see, not looking too good, but we don't really matter because we can't actually see in there anyway. Let's actually fix these parts as well. So at the moment, we need to fix just these parts. So what I'm going to do is just put it on render. Let's have another look. And let's come in and grab these parts here. So L, actually we need to press Alt H, bring back those parts. So L, 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 U, Smart UV Project, click OK. Let's have a look what that looks like. Sometimes you'll end up with them going all different ways. We really don't want that. So sometimes we can't be lazy. So we have to go in, Tab, Alt H, L, 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 and let's press Shift H, hide everything else out of the way. And this is what we actually want to work on. So in other words, we're actually going to have to go in and mark our own seams on this. So Alt Shift click, we'll do the inside of this one first, like so. Alt Shift click, and then what we'll do is we'll right click and mark a seam. Now also the problem we have here is at the moment we can see the seams and the sharps. That's kind of annoying, so we don't really want to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this down arrow here. I think it's this one, or is it this one? Let me just have a look. I'm looking for edge marks, not that. There we go. So if we turn off sharps, there we go. Now we can see what we're doing. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to mark the inside of each of these. So Alt Shift click, Alt Shift click, right click and mark seam. I'm gonna then click on the backs of these all the way up to that mark that I already did. Right click, mark seam. And then what we're gonna do now is the outside of each of these. So I'm gonna come to the outside, Alt Shift click on the outside of each of these, like so. Right click, mark seam. And then finally now I want to make sure we've got no infinite loops. In other words, going loop and loop, we need to just make sure we get rid of those. So I'm just going to come to the back because I know that these backs are not going to be seen by anyone. Right click, mark seam. Now let's see what these unwrap like. So unwrap instead of Smart UV unwrap, because we've actually marked the seams. So let's just click unwrap. And we can see we have some problems. We have some infinite loops still, which we need to actually fix. So where are those infinite loops? So we can see here, these here are where the infinite loops are. So let's find where these parts are. So we know that they're definitely, we can see here, have we got an infinite loop on this? We can see going around here. This is probably not too good. Let's have a look where that's going wrong. So we can see we've got this part in here, which is absolutely fine. If I come into face select and I grab this face on here, this is this going around here. So this is actually fine as well. So we can see it's not on this part. It is going to be on this part here. So this part, let's have a look. This looks like an infinite loop to me. So let's see what's going on with that. I think it's this part here. Let's have a look. Actually, all of those are quite nice, so it must be, there it is, the inside of there. Missed that one. There we go, right click, mark seam. There we go. Now let's give this a try. I've mixed that one as well. So Smart UV project, click OK. And there we go. Now there's look at some bear, except this one. Why is this one going like that? Let's have a look. So we can see there's a bit of a broken mesh there. Let's come in, Smart UV, not smart, U unwrap. There we go. Now that's looking better. Don't know why that one didn't unwrap properly, but now the rest of them have unwrapped, and now we've done that. So now, let's press Alt-H, let's bring back the rest of it, and then what we're going to do is just hide these bits out of the way. So we're going to hide these, and I want to unwrap just this part here. Now we'll have a problem when we unwrap it. So what I want you to do is I want you just to grab the actual part near to where this seam is. So you can see the seam here, grab this part, press L, and then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure, first of all, it's an infinite loop again. So before doing that, actually, we need to make sure Alt, Shift and click, or click, Control click, right click, mark seam. Then we can come in, face select, again, near the seam. Make sure you grab the face near the seam, L, U, unwrap, and now you'll see we unwrap like that. Let's press A, R, 90, and let's just see what that's like. Actually, that doesn't look too bad. I was going to actually straighten it out, but I think that looks pretty nice. Now, the one problem we can see is that this is not the same scale. You can see all this is not the same scale. So what we want to do is we want it to all be the same scale. So what I'm going to do is press Tab, A over here in the UV map, and then what you want to do is you want to come over and right click, and we're going to actually come over, where is it? You want to come over and click these three little dots here. Then we're going to go down to UV, and that opens up big menu for us. Now what we want to do is we want to have average island scale clicked on, because that then is going to make all of the islands exactly the same size based on the scale, what's in the scene. So if I click that on, you'll end up with something like that. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to pack the islands. So I'm going to go to UV. I'm going to go to pack islands. We don't want to change the rotation, so we don't want to click this on. Then you click OK. It's going to pack all those islands really nice and neatly for us. And now we can just scale these out with the S. And there we go. Beautiful window. Although we can't see much, so we need to change some of this wood as well. So what we're going to do is, I think on the next lesson is, we'll bring in our other material just to give a bit of variation between these, because they all look pretty much the same at the moment. And then what we can do is we can actually work on changing the scales and things like that, making sure these unwrap correctly. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. I know it's a long way making a window, but trust me, once you've made one window, they actually get much easier. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.